Hello, fellow witches and wizards, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Back to Hogwarts podcast. These episodes will be coming out once a month through the Hogwarts school year and will feature various topics from the wizarding world. I'm hoping that one day I can feature some special guests on this podcast, so make sure to share this with all the other witches and wizards in your life. In today's episode, I will be doing a Q&A provided by the community, so you guys can get to know me a bit better. And don't worry, all the questions are Harry Potter related. So let's get started. So, I will be saying each one of the community members' names, and I will put them on the screen so you can check out their channels as well. But the first person we have is at Aria Martinez /U5T. They asked me first, what is my favorite house? I'm a bit biased on this one because this is my house, but my favorite house is Slytherin. Slytherin is my house. I feel like I just relate to them the most. I'm a very ambitious person, and I really just want my goals to be accomplished in life. They also asked me what my favorite Harry Potter movie is, and I'm going to say The Deathly Hallows Part 2. It also was the one that made me cry the most because of all the deaths in there. But you know, the deaths kind of just make the Deathly Hallows so much better because we honor the lives that we lost a bit more. And it makes us really appreciate the other movies that have those characters in them a lot more. So that's why I like the Deathly Hallows. Also, the Horcrux hunting was just one of my favorite parts of the movies. It was so cool. So the next person who asked me a couple questions was at Lily Carwile 14. She asked me what my house was. I already told you guys, but my house is Slytherin. I've taken the test numerous amounts of times. I've always been a Slytherin, and I just really like the house. It's not all bad, guys. We need to stop saying that Slytherin is the bad house. It's really not. She also asked me what my Patronus is, and I did have to take a test to find out what my Patronus is, but I found out that my Patronus was a stag. I did not know that. I thought I was going to get like a rabbit or something, but that's actually really cool, and I did not know that. They also asked me what my favorite character was. My favorite character in the books and in the movies is Fred Weasley. He's just so funny and charming, and he really makes me laugh every single time he's on screen. But then you guys are also going to probably ask me in the comments, hey, what about George? They're like basically the same person. Wrong. George Weasley is the sweeter one of the twins. He's more soft-spoken. Fred's more outgoing, which is why I like Fred a lot better. But we love George too. They're both great. And then she also asked me what my least favorite character was, and I said Cornelius Fudge or Barty Crouch Sr. They were just so mean and power hungry and also kind of just boring. Like Cornelius Fudge basically lied the whole time he was on screen, and Barty Crouch Sr. ruined the fun of the Triwizard Tournament, and I was like cheering when I found out that he died. Like, it was just a great death. Sorry guys, I'm struggling from allergies. It's allergy season. And then the last question that Lily Carwile asked me is, how big of a Potterhead am I? Now, I put 10 out of 10 on the little like script I'm reading, and it's not really like a script. It's more of just like an answer to the question so I didn't forget what I was going to say. But I said 10 out of 10, but honestly, probably more than 10. Like, Harry Potter, I eat, sleep, breathe Harry Potter. I just love it so much. Now the next username, I love this username by the way, so if this person is watching, we all love your username. It's at apotato1234. And they asked me, do I prefer the books or the movies? Now, I know a lot of Potterheads would probably say the books, but there are certain aspects of like both that I really enjoy. The books definitely have more details. They give me a better sense of what I'm actually reading and what I'm watching in the movies sometimes. Like the details in there are just really great. But then the movies provide a great visual to what I'm reading, cuz when I'm reading, I have a hard time like focusing on reading the words and imagining what I think is going on. And that's what the movies do really great for me. And plus, I just really like the actors. Can't blame me. Okay, next person who asked me a couple questions, actually, the most questions probably, is at Astoria/HP Pookie OG. So they asked me what my favorite book is. People who have been watching my channel since the very beginning would know that my favorite book is The Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm so sorry I keep coughing on this, but allergies kill me, honestly. But I love The Prisoner of Azkaban, and The Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite. I mostly like the time turner sequence. I thought that was really cool, and the creative like mechanics behind it were just really awesome. And when I first read The Prisoner of Azkaban, I was like, this is like so good. They asked me also how many Harry Potter themed things do I have. As of when I wrote this little script, I had 97. I think I have closer to 99 now. I haven't done a recount, but I do have a lot of Harry Potter items. Some of them I made myself, and some of them I bought. Like one I made myself, it was in one of my shorts that I posted, but I have a Draco bowling pin that I made. I love that bowling pin. I was so proud of it. And then I also have a Harry Potter one. And some of the stuff that I like to buy for Harry Potter, I'm a big wand collector. Every time I go to Universal Studios, I always buy a wand there. It's like a tradition or whatever. And I think next time I go, I'm going to get George Weasley's, because I have Fred, so I got to get George's. And I also like to buy Harry Potter Legos. Those are some of my favorite things to buy. And whenever a new one drops, I'm always just super excited. My dream Lego set for Harry Potter related wise is the Gringotts Bank, like the collector's edition. I was like, oh my god, I need that, but it's like $350 and that's expensive. So right now, my more reasonable choice is the Burrow Collector's Edition. It's a little bit less and better priced. So she also asked what age did I get into Harry Potter. I was 7. I was in 3rd grade, and my 3rd grade teacher was obsessed with Harry Potter. The desks in her room, each like little group of tables was the Hogwarts houses. I sat at Ravenclaw. I distinctly remember it still, but also think she also read us the books, and she got up to the 3rd book before the school year ended. And then I kind of just continued reading them from then on. I really liked the books, and I have to give it to my 3rd grade teacher. She's the one who inspired me to keep going in Harry Potter related stuff. Before 3rd grade, I knew like the name Harry Potter. I knew it was a big thing. I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't really know what it was, and now I know everything about it, which is really cool. You asked what my least favorite house was. My least favorite house, and I like all the houses, but I really don't like Gryffindor. I know it's like Gryffindor is like the cliche one, the one that everybody likes, but Gryffindors to me are just a bit sassy and overconfident in themselves, and a lot of the Gryffindors in the books and the movies, I didn't like them. They were always just so like snobby, because they're like, oh, I'm in Gryffindor, I'm the best. But that's not to say that all Gryffindors are bad. I do have people who are my friends that are in Gryffindor, and they're really nice. So all the Hogwarts houses are nice. I just don't like Gryffindors that much. And my favorite class in Hogwarts is Defense Against the Dark Arts. Surprisingly, this is a very hot take, but I liked all of the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers except Gilderoy Lockhart. You're going to be saying in the comments, Dolores Umbridge. She was literally, she was so mean. Dolores Umbridge, I do agree, torturing children is very wrong. Don't do it. Do not torture children. That is bad. But I strive for her ambition, how she's just going to walk into a building where she has barely any status, and she's going to be like, I'm going to make all these rules, you're going to listen to me, and you're going to follow it, and I'm going to be treated like the queen. I really should get some water right now, but we're going to keep going. But Defense Against the Dark Arts, one of my favorite classes. It's great. Next one is, who is my Hogwarts crush? Some people know this, some people don't. My Hogwarts crush is Fred Weasley. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. That's where I'm going to end it. I'm not going to say any more. And I'm going to just take a quick momentary break to go grab some water, because I'm dying over here. I'm trying not to cough on camera, but it's not working. So let me just go grab some water. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'll put a fun visual on the screen afterwards. That way you guys don't click off my video. Anyways, my favorite teacher, this is still Astoria / HP Pookie OG. Thank you for giving me all these questions so I can actually have some content in my video. But my favorite teacher is Remus Lupin. I think a lot of people's favorite teacher is Remus Lupin. He was just the best teacher. He was there for every single student, and he is dedicated to his work when he becomes a werewolf every month, and he still goes to his job every day. Also, he implies that chocolate is the best medicine. That is very true. Thank you, Remus Lupin. Next is my favorite spell. My favorite spell is Sectum Sepra. I don't know why I like it. It's so weird that I like a really dangerous spell. I was tempted to put Avada Kedavra on there, but I wasn't gonna do that. But I like Sectum Sepra. I like how Professor Snape kind of just came up with it. That's actually really cool. And I don't know, it's just a great defense mechanism. Now, I know some people don't know what Sectum Sepra is. They know that it happens in the movies, but basically what Sectum Sepra, the spell, and what it actually does is it's basically acting like a sword slashing through the victim. That's what it does. That's why Draco was bleeding in the bathroom. Not a lot of people actually know that, and neither did I, but then I found out what it does, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And lastly, from Astoria / HP Pookie OG is my favorite animal from Harry Potter. And my favorite animal is the Nifflers. They kind of remind me of Perry the Platypus for some reason. I don't know. They look like a platypus. But they're just like really fluffy, and they're really adorable, and they're greedy little things. They like coins, and I like money too. I like gold. So I relate to the Nifflers on a very personal level. The next person who asked me a really good question, and shout out to this person because their question was very good. And It was at ZYGOVOX1. I'm saying all the letters because I don't know how I wanted to pronounce that. But they said, what would be one character that you want to remove, and how would it affect the rest of the story? One person I do want to remove is Dolores Umbridge. She is mean, and a lot of stuff would not be as bad if she wouldn't have been in existence. But also, it wouldn't have given much of a fan base for Fred and George. A lot of people, when they think of Fred and George, their movie is the fifth one, and they got a lot of popularity from the fact that they were able to fight against Umbridge. Also, without Umbridge being there, Dumbledore's army would have never existed because there would not be any reason to come up with their own fighting class if they had a teacher that actually did fighting curriculum. Also, Cho Chang would not be as hated as she was because Cho Chang would not have been forced to rat out Dumbledore's army, and that's a lot of the reason why Cho Chang was so hated. Also, Filch would have not gotten recognition. First off, can we give Filch just a round of applause? We don't like him a lot, but he deserves recognition. I don't think he sleeps at night. He does not sleep. First off, he's working at a castle, no magic abilities, forced to clean up everybody's mess. He doesn't have magic, so he can't do it magically, so he's probably just taking a broom and sweeping up everybody's mess down at Hogwarts. He's so annoyed that all the kids hate him. He only has a cat that, he actually wants to be around. Also, he's been there for years since he was talking about torturing the students in the first movie. He's been there for years. I've never seen him eat at any of the feasts, and also I've never seen him sleep. He's always guarding at night. So is Filch okay? He's not eating, he's not sleeping. I think when Filch got those chocolates from Fred and George, I think that's the first time he actually ate food in 150 years. So let's just give an applause to Filch. Also, if Dolores Umbridge was not in the story, many kids would not know how to cast the spells. Dumbledore's army taught so many people a lot of spells. They wouldn't have been able to get past in the Ministry of Magic during that movie because a lot of them would have been captured by the Death Eaters. So it is very helpful for the Dumbledore's army to exist. And also, Slytherin's locket probably would have been a lot easier to get. I don't know who the Slytherin's locket would have been sold to, but I just know it would have been a lot easier. Also, Harry wouldn't have had that epic comeback line of "I shall not tell lies." That was a bang right there, and he said it twice. Let's see. The next person who asked me a question is at WizardsWonder01, and they said, what character would you want to be? I said that I would want to be Draco Malfoy. I relate a lot to his character, the feeling of I want to fit in with a lot of people. I really just relate to that because fitting in with people is very difficult, and if I was Draco, I also just want to be cool like Draco. I could just walk around being I don't care about anybody. I also wish I had the jokes that Draco has. That was pretty cool. But I just really like Draco's character, and if I was Draco, that would actually just be really cool. So the next person who asked me there a couple of questions is at Rocky _ drummer. They said, hear me out. And this one is a real hear me out. I said Barty Crouch Jr. For some reason, I don't know why, he looks like Matt Pat. He looks like Matt Pat from game theory, food theory, style theory, film theory, all the theories. He's retired now, and that was really sad, but Barty Crouch Jr. just looks like Matt Pat, and I don't know why. Also, I feel like if Matt Pat was in the movie, he could act exactly like Barty Crouch Jr. Am I the only one that thinks that? Comment down below. But Hear Me Out is Barty Crouch Jr. I think the only scene where it really is a Hear Me Out is during the court case when he's wearing the suit. That's the only scene, though. And Rocky _ drummer also asked me what the least favorite to my favorite movie. So the ones that I put for that is I put the first movie. It just didn't have much action to it. And then I said Deathly Hallows Part 1. The Horcrux hunting was pretty cool, but also half the movie was just them running around in the woods. I didn't think it was too interesting when they were doing that. The next one is The Chamber of Secrets. Now, I used to love this movie. It used to be my favorite, but then again, it doesn't have that much depth to it. With the lack of deaths and stuff, it really doesn't make it as emotional as the Harry Potter universe really is. Then I said The Prisoner of Azkaban was my next one. Prisoner of Azkaban was really cool, but it wasn't as well executed as it was in the books. Next I said the sixth movie. That one was kind of just depressing, honestly. I mean, with the whole Draco deal and just like not as much going on in that movie, it was just really depressing, but I still love it. Next was the fourth movie. I love the Triwizard Tournament, the Yule Ball. Everything about that movie was just really cool because of the Triwizard Tournament. Next I said the fifth movie, mostly because of Fred and George and Dolores Umbridge and their like little debacle that they had going on. But also that movie was just really, really heartwarming in a interesting way, and also it has one of my favorite scores in there of all time, which is Fireworks by Nicholas Hooper. It was the song that was playing when Fred and George were releasing the fireworks in the Great Hall, and you should check out the full version because it's a great score. And then my favorite movie is The Deathly Hallows Part 2. I explained why, but I love all the Harry Potter movies. There isn't one that I hate or I love the most. They're all amazing in their own way. And the next person that asked me some questions is at ASCH Gotcha. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I didn't know how to pronounce that. But they said my least favorite book. My least favorite book is Order of the Phoenix. It didn't have the same effect that the movie did. And honestly, I fell asleep while reading it. And whenever I read it, I read the Harry Potter books 2 times a year. And every time I get to that book, I know it's going to be a sleeper. I'm trying to get better at that so I can really enjoy the book. But sometimes it's just really difficult. And my least favorite spell is Alohomora. I don't really it's just kind of one of those spells that's boring. I was going between this and Wingardium Leviosa, but Wingardium Leviosa is just iconic, so we can't really do that. But Alohomora, I get its purpose, but also it's kind of just boring. You could easily pick a lock in no time flat. That's why I put it there. And the last person who asked me some questions was at the Slay Sisters, and they asked me my favorite actor from the movies. I said James and Oliver Phelps played Fred and George Weasley. It would be honestly such a dream if I could meet them, do a collab with them. If I could meet the Phelps twins, that would just be honestly the best day of my life, because I feel like I really look up to them. They're really funny with their personality. And when I found out that they were on the Wizards of Baking show, I went straight to that show and I loved every minute of it. Their personality is just amazing. So I'm hoping that this channel gets big enough to one day I could go out and meet them and do some kind of video collab. That would be like the best thing in the world. And the next question that they asked me, and also the last question of this entire video, is what is my favorite ship from the Harry Potter universe? I ship Fred and Hermione. Now, it's not a well-known ship, but it is a very good one, and I can see why a lot of people think this. I think J.K. Rowling originally said that Ron was supposed to die and Fred and Hermione were supposed to be together. Honestly, that would have been the better option. People who like Ron, I'm sorry, but I didn't like Ron. He was just kind of a baby to me, but Fred and Hermione, they would do really well, and every time that Fred interacts with Hermione on screen, I can just feel something in the air through the television screen. I can feel it. And I really wish that Fred and Hermione would have been together instead of Angelina or Ron. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give some honorable mentions to people who gave me questions. These people, they provided me with questions that other people already gave me first, but I didn't want to leave them out, so I decided to put their names on here, so that way you guys can still visit their channels, because it's just the right thing to do. So some honorable mentions are at @stars_the_alien, at Ann Wickman 9461, and at Slytherin 14-14. Also, I'd like to thank everybody who submitted a question, and I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching this video. Without your guys' support, I would have never been able to think of this or even do any of this stuff, because I wouldn't have any questions to answer for you guys. So I'm really grateful. Also, I'd like to take this time to thank you guys for giving me 5,000 subscribers. I never thought I would make it that far. My next goal is probably to get to 10,000, but I'm really grateful for it. Also, I'd like to thank all you guys for liking my videos, sharing my videos, subscribing to my channel, and it's really helping me get to a lifetime goal I've been wanting to do. And I figured that this is the right video to tell you guys what that goal is. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a part of the Harry Potter universe, and I'm hoping that I get enough recognition one day to where I can actually be in like a Harry Potter TV show as a special guest or as a host, just something like that. That's one of my goals, so I'm trying to get enough recognition to where that can happen. I'm a really big actor. I love acting and things, so I'm hoping that one day I can be in a Harry Potter related anything, really. But thank you to all you guys for at least watching my videos, and I never would have thought I would come this far, especially not in 3 months. That's really insane. But anyways, I'd like you guys, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new shorts that I post, or even some videos. I haven't posted any videos recently, but make sure you hit the notification bell because I'm usually posting. And as always, stay magical, everyone. Bye.